Okay. So what we're going to be talking about today, again, I just want to welcome all of you guys. I want to thank you for being here and showing up. I'm super pumped for our third VIP session of the season. So for those that are new, it's great to have you, whether you finished the challenge or you're just getting started, all right? This is going to be beneficial for everyone. So this is the session that turns learning into action. And each and every one of you have taken that step towards earning and getting guaranteed mad ROI. Okay, you can't find this anywhere else. That's why I love tax liens. So here's a quick roadmap of what we're going to do and cover today. First, we're going to do a quick walkthrough of the membership portal. Okay, this is going to get you guys familiar with it, see all the benefits that are available to you. This includes the 5-day challenge, any bonuses that you may have received along the way, especially those that were the first 50 to sign up. You've got a bunch of bonuses in there. And also where to get help when you need it, all right? So we're going to do a quick rundown of Tax Liens 101, okay? This isn't a 5-day challenge, but I want to reiterate the most important factors and explain things like the life cycle of a tax lien, Florida's 5% guaranteed ROI rule, why you should never bid 0% interest. I know I think Patrick, I talked to you about that earlier. Why you should always bid 0.25% or above because you will not get that 5% ROI. So little things like that we're going to be dropping throughout this chat. I also want to make sure you get the maximum 18% interest or how you go about that, okay? We're going to do a review of Lien Hub. This is because it's Florida's largest auction platform. So Lien Hub has 30 plus counties. We're going to go through the auction calendar, how to read it, some key dates that you'll need to know and watch for because we do have a lot of stuff coming up in 5 days on May 1st. A lot of stuff's going to drop, and I want you guys to be ready for that. We're going to go through how bidding works from start to finish, and then how you can get paid instantly, right? So you want that automatic ACH dropped in there, and Lien Hub provides all of that. I know there's other platforms out there, and you are more than welcome to do any platforms you like. I personally stick with Lien Hub because it is a super easy process, not only for the auctions, but also going from your lien to a deed. If you have to apply for that deed, it's almost automatic, like you do with a couple of clicks. I made a video about that. If you go to my YouTube, you'll see how to do that. It's like 18% interest in 8 seconds or something. It's ridiculous. It really is that fast. So does this work for everyone? Go ahead and drop in the chat if you're pumped about this call. And I do see a couple other people coming in. Okay, Patrick, finish the 5-day challenge. Awesome, Patrick. Good job. Waiting for the auctions to go live. Awesome. That's what we're doing right now. I'm getting super excited about it. So let's see, Gina. Yes, you're in. Michael's ready. Let's do this. All right. And don't worry, I'm going to leave plenty of time at the end for any questions that you guys may have. Okay. A lot of what I'm talking about may answer those questions for you. So write them down as we go along, and I'll be sure to answer all of the questions at the end. All right, guys? Sound good? Ready to jump in? All right. So this is me, obviously. Hopefully you guys know me by now. I'm Jesse Jameson, aka the Tax Dude. I'm very down to earth. I'm not like a super salesy kind of guy. I actually hate being on camera. So if I seem a little nervous, that's probably why. But I know tax deeds and tax liens, and I've been doing it for 10 years now. And 10 years ago, I was probably right where you guys are now. I was making decent money. I was working for a very big bank. I had my MBA. I was able to provide for my family, but we were still kind of like scraping by, right? Can you guys relate? So I started looking into some side hustles to get some extra cash. And that way we can kind of go on more vacations. And I wanted to start building up a college fund for my newborn twins, right? So I started a lot of stuff right when they were born. I got my MBA. I kind of dove into a lot of other stuff, and it was just absolutely crazy, right? So sometimes we have to tunnel focus. Someone said to me on one of the podcasts that I was listening to, they said, take 20% of your current salary and multiply that by the years that you have left before retirement. And that is what the average person has in their retirement account. And that is all you will ever be able to make without the right investments. So that hit me really hard. I don't know about you guys, but I didn't want to limit how much I can make. I'm an entrepreneur at heart. I know if you're here, you're probably doing the same thing or you're just starting. I also didn't want to worry about my 401k disappearing, kind of like it did in 2008. We also lost our first home then too. So it was very scary for me to leave that money on the table. right? So the first side hustle I found was actually flipping mobile homes. And there's a lot of them in Florida, right? There's a lot of opportunity. I bought a course, I bought some mobile homes, and I lost money on nearly all of them. So have you guys have ever happened, you do something and it's gone? Yeah. So not to mention the time away from my family to fix them, the addictions I had to deal with on multiple occasions, and the calls on a Friday night with the park managers. So I knew after a few of those bad deals that I definitely didn't want to deal with people or fixing toilets anymore. I like you guys, don't get me wrong. So I just didn't want to deal with the people that had to get out of my mobiles when they needed to, okay, when they stopped paying for 3 months. And I didn't want to deal with anything fixing. I want to be more with my family. I want to take more vacations. I didn't want to be tied down, right? So I think some of you can probably relate to this, right? I learned the phrase passive income. And for those of you that aren't familiar with it, this basically means automated profits. Yeah, Gina's got it right. Automated profits. Nice smiley face. Exactly. We love passive income, right? This is a phrase that most, I like to say, average Joes don't know about, but entrepreneurs get excited about. Okay, so again, I'm a nerd at heart. I get excited about numbers, about interest rates, things like that. So if you are not understanding that part of the business, please speak up, ask the questions. I'm more than happy to explain things. If you don't even know what ROI stands for, speak up, let me know. That's a return on investment, by the way. But there's a difference. So there's a difference between your return on investment and annualized interest. So that is something that most people don't understand, and we need to kind of go over later on, right? So I started looking into how to get this done, and I read a book on tax liens. Oh my gosh, you guys, you mean I can make 18% annual interest? Like 5% guaranteed ROI? My 401k was only averaging 4 to 6% each year, so I was hooked after this. I don't know what you guys are making in your 401ks or if you even have a retirement account, but check that. Check your savings account and see if you can make 5% right now, if not 18% interest, okay? So the next tax season that I had, I decided to go all in, right? I learned what the rules were. I learned how to bid in the auctions. And most importantly, I learned how to get money, okay? So this was one of my first checks. I absolutely loved it. You get checks every single month, especially closer to tax season, because people are getting notices from the county, okay? So somebody doesn't pay their taxes, they may get their tax bill in November, and then come March, they're going to start adding up those letters, right? Every single time they get a letter, they're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to lose my house, even though they have 2 years, they don't know that. So if you have a lien on that house from a prior season, okay, so it's like from last year, and you get this year's tax bill, they'll start paying it, and you literally just start getting checks in the mail. You start getting checks deposited straight into your bank account. And that's what I love. That's immediate passive income, guys. That's literally what passive income means. All right? So by the end of my first year, I had started that college fund, and I was actually able to take my family on a vacation to Disney. So this is what my parents did for me when I was young, and it was always a dream of mine with my kids, and we were able to do that. So I was super excited. I want to help you get these same results, immediately. This season, next month, within the next 30 days. Okay, how does that sound to you guys? Can you drop in emoji or thumbs up if you guys want to start making money in 30 days? All right? Yep, Gary's there. Yeah, Gary, we're working on that, aren't we? Yeah, we're working on the big ones. All right, otherwise, y'all, we're waiting until next year again, right? So the only regret that I have is not making more money and having more money to invest each year. So I do tax deeds all year round, and this program is for tax liens. Tax liens I use for my retirement income, okay? So I've already stacked up mad money in my retirement funds. I can pull a loan out of that to pay for my tax deeds. I put it in a self-directed IRA, so I don't even have to pay taxes on it, guys. So this is all advanced stuff, right? This is all advanced stuff that we can learn later on. But I just want to kind of relate this to you guys. If you are wanting to get more money, if you are laughing at the bank because they're giving you 0.25% interest, this is where it's at, okay? Are you wanting to make more for your family? Do you want to do this automatically each year? I want to know what is your plan. What is your goal for this year? So drop in the chat, guys. I do want to know that, and we'll go back to it. So one thing I would like to ask is, what is the number one thing that you would do if you could make another like $500 in the next 30 days? Okay, drop it in the chat. I want to hear you guys. Let's see. We've got Trevor. Trevor said vacation. Yep, I love vacations. Let's see. Mindy. Yep, Mindy said retirement. Yep, everybody wants to retire, right? I don't trust the stocks or the inflation rates at this point, and neither should you. So somebody said buy a new car. Yep, awesome. I'm going to lead into that in just a second too. So just so you guys know, we're getting into that nitty gritty stuff. So guys, right now, with the right strategy, you can do all that. Okay, I just want to point that out. You can do all that. That's why you're here. I'm going to help you do that, and we'll go forward with that. Okay. So let's get into the nitty gritty of why you're here. Yep, Phoebe still, yep, dropping in the chat. A motorcycle, yes. A motorcycle would be nice, wouldn't it? Yep. I don't know if you can buy a motorcycle with $500 though. Maybe a down payment. We'll see. All right, so let's do a quick walkthrough of your membership portal. Feel free, guys, to open up your computer and walk through it with me if you'd like. I know a lot of you are already familiar with this, but go ahead and drop any questions you have in the chat. And I'll go back through at the end and we'll answer every single question in the chat if it hasn't been answered already, okay? Start by bookmarking your membership portal hub, okay? That's this one that you see on the screen. I'm gonna drop the link in the chat as well. There we go. All right, so this is where you're gonna find all of your goodies, okay? Your courses, your bonuses, your worksheets and your templates. So sometimes you'll find the bonuses and templates inside the actual courses as well. I just wanted to give it to you in kind of two different places in case you didn't see it first. So on the left, you can see where you can join your groups. This is for multiple things in multiple communities, like if you sign up for the tax liens and the tax deeds program, or if you're in the mastermind program, you'll see on the left-hand side various different groups. If you're just doing the 5-day challenge, you'll probably just see the one 5-day group, unless you have a couple other bonuses going on. So the next one down is the Take a Course button. This is going to lead you to all of the courses that you've purchased or have been given as bonuses, okay? This is probably where you want to start with the 5-day challenge. Course progress, I do want to remind you guys to be sure to mark each lesson complete. It's at the very bottom of every lesson, so that'll track your progress. And there's a bonus at the end of each course you complete, so you don't want to miss that. All right, and again, if you guys have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat for me, all right? Okay, so as far as the courses go, so this is your courses section, and you'll see I have a lot more courses, obviously, than you guys will probably see. But the main one is the Lien Your Way to Wealth 5-day challenge. That's the one that's the blue one on the screen, third one to the right on the top row. Just look for the Lien Your Way to Wealth challenge. You can click on that. You'll also see the challenge workbook in there. So everyone has the challenge workbook. It's also in the first module of the challenge. In case you need it, it's 2 different places that you guys can get it. All right. If you were part of the first 50 to sign up, you're also going to see some bonuses like how to set up an LLC in Florida, any various calculators or templates that you were offered and you got. Okay. All right, so Tax Liens 101, let's get into it. If you already know this, great. I might just drop in some golden nuggets here too, also that stuff that's not in the challenge. So stick with me here, but Tax Liens 101, we do want to cover Florida's 5% rule, okay? Never bid 0%. Florida's 5% rule does not apply to 0%. The next percentage up is 0.25%. They go in 1/4 percentage increments, okay? So 0.25, 0.5, and then you're good. Don't do 0%, okay? It's not going to get you anything. It's literally not going to get you any interest either. It's not going to get you 5% or interest. Just don't do it. The lowest you want to bid is 0.25%. So if all you come away with this 1 hour Q&A here of that, it will make you money, okay? So I got a couple examples on the screen here for you. And basically what Florida's 5% rule says is that no matter how low you bid, except for 0%, you can bid down to 0.25% and you're still going to get at least 5% return on your investment. Now, why do they even let you go past 5%? I'm not sure, okay, because it really doesn't even add up. Because in 7 years, your lien's going to expire, so it's not even 5%. So this is an example here with the 5% rule. So if you have 0.25% interest, and you win a tax lien for $10,000, say the property owner redeems the lien after just like 2 months. Since 5% of $10,000 is $500, you automatically earn a $500 return. That's regardless of how long the lien was outstanding, okay? Now, let's say you bid 12% interest and you win that same lien for $10,000 and the owner redeems also after 2 months. You may think that your return is only going to be 2% of 10,000. Since it's 2 months out of 12, that's 1/6, okay? Do some math. That's going to equal $200. But because of the 5% rule, that's lower than the 5% return. So you're going to get $500. So that's how that works. You could bid 0.25%, or you could bid 12%, or even 18%. And if it redeems within the first 6 months, you're still going to get your 5% return. Okay? So that's how that works. I know it's a little confusing at first, but just so you guys know, as long as you don't bid 0%, you are still going to get 5% return on your investment. Okay? All right. I know I'm going to get some questions about that. So again, drop it in the chat if you guys have any questions. Are you guys still with me? Let me know. Send me a smiley face in the chat. Make sure I didn't bore you to death talking about tax liens. I get super excited. I hope other people are excited. We'll see. So let's go over the interest rates. Okay, so we just talked about 0 to 18% interest rates. Florida is a bid down state. Okay, so you can go as high as 18%, and you could bid down all the way to 0%. So again, we want to bid up to 0.25% minimum. So during these auctions, a bunch of investors compete. There's a lot of hedge funds, a lot of banks, a lot of rich people that know these secrets that I'm about to give you and that you've learned in the challenge. And it really is kind of a lottery system. So if you are wanting to bid on a specific lien, you may have 10,000 other people bidding on that lien. So it's very strategic about what interest rate you're willing to take, how low you're willing to go, and then also what your goals are. So if you only want 18% interest, you can get that with vacant land all day, all night, okay? If you are bidding on a single family home, especially those that are higher than like $100,000, every single one of those, I guarantee, is going to go for 0.25%, okay? You're probably not going to get anything else. Now, there are exceptions, obviously, but I've looked at the data. I know all of the data from last year, and I can tell you right now, if you're bidding on anything that actually has a structure on it, it's probably going to go for at least less than 6%, if not 0.25%. Okay, just putting that out there. Again, the guaranteed minimum is 5% penalty, which means you get 5% ROI, no matter what your percentage rate is, as long as it's not 0, right, guys? What is it? Not 0. All right. Moving on. So this is the critical dates and deadlines. This is important to know. So we are at April 25th. This is very urgent. In the next week, they're going to start advertising things. Okay, so just so you guys know, when the property taxes aren't paid by April 1st, that's when the county starts sending out the letters and they start getting the sale ready for everything. Okay, so most of the counties hold these auctions mid-May to June 1st. June 1st, actually June 3rd is the last time I've seen. That's the oldest date I've ever seen them have a sale. Over half of these counties are on June 1st, okay? But May 15th, 16th is where the counties are actually starting the auctions. Like actually, this is when you're bidding and this is when the auctions close. May 1st is when they advertise, and that's when they open the bidding up. So you can go on May 1st and look at the counties, look at the data, decide what you want to bid, upload your bids, and then sit there for another 2 weeks until it goes on, okay? So that's why it's really easy to kind of bid on these properties. So again, that's another kind of conversation we can have at a later date. If you do have questions about that, we can talk about it at the end. All right, moving on. We are going to review Lien Hub. Okay, so Lien Hub is, like I said, my favorite platform. It is really the best platform, in my opinion, for user-friendly beginners also. So if you are on another platform, that's great. But I like to focus on Lien Hub, and I'll walk you through exactly why in a second. So if you're on the Lien Hub screen here, I would go ahead and encourage you just to go ahead and get a login. Okay, so that login is going to be the same for every county that you use, and you have to register in every county that you plan on bidding. okay? So make sure you go in, get logged in. I would say at least register for one county, just to start off, and make sure you keep time for the deposits, because that's going to be important as well. Because it's an ACH transfer, make sure you keep at least 5 to 7 days to get your deposits in before those auctions start. Otherwise, you're going to miss it. So from this main page, you want to click on Certificate Sale Schedules on the left. That is going to bring you to this calendar. And right now, this calendar is not full, okay? Excuse me, guys. This calendar is getting set up. I check it every day and get excited when I see a little bit, here and there. You're not going to see a whole lot on here until May 1st. May 1st is generally when the earlier counties will post their advertised list. So right now what you're going to see on here is just essentially the dates that everything started. Okay, so on May 1st, you can go in here, click on each of these counties that have it listed, then you can look at the advertised list. Then we get started. Then you do everything else. But in the meantime, you can get your deposits in, you can get set up, get everything ready, because it's going to be absolute chaos, cray-cray, once we get started, okay? I would also encourage you guys, I block off May 1st on my entire day. I don't take any meetings or phone calls or anything, because that's kind of like the go-to day of starting all of your data and capturing everything like that, okay? So bookmark this page, check the auction calendar regularly, especially on May 1st, and then we'll go from there. So some of the key dates that you want to look at on this is the deposit due date, when the bidding opens, when the bidding closes, and then the last day to go ahead and get those funds out, but that's usually done automatically. So really it's a matter of when the bidding closes and when the auction starts and your deposits. Okay, those three things matter. Okay? So the next thing that we need to talk about is how to choose the right counties. I know I was speaking to a couple of you this morning about different counties and how you want to kind of diversify, and that's great. I love that. I will tell you that I bid in as many counties as I possibly can, as much money as I do have for the deposits and things like that. And it's funny because some counties will be super redemption one year, and then the next year it takes a little longer for those to be redeemed for some reason. Like people don't pay their property taxes in Okaloosa County as quickly as they did the day before, or the year before. So choosing the right counties is important. You also want to make your goals, set your goals. So if you've gone through the challenge, you understand where I'm at with why you need to have those goals. You need to know what your interest rate strategy is. If you're just here for the 5% return on investment and you're good with getting your money back in 30 to 90 days, bid 0.25% on everything. If you want that long-term return and that passive income like we were talking about, you could bid 18% on everything, and you could get some vacant land in there. All right, so it all depends on the interest rates. It also depends on the population of bidders. So Miami-Dade, I stay away from. That's like the main one that I stay away from because it's just too competitive. That's where everybody is. So I like to stick to the littler counties that I know are going to get redemptions, and I'll be able to get higher interest rates. So again, also one more thing, I was talking to a couple of you before about proxy versus direct bidding. Okay, so you can see, let me go back one more screen, and you can see on this, this calendar is where you're going to see whether it's proxy or direct bidding. I would highly recommend not doing any direct bidding. This is where you say, I want to bid 0.25%, and you know what? If nobody else bids on that property, you're going to get it for 0.25%. If it was proxy, you get it for 18% because they start at the top and go down. Direct bidding is exactly what you put in, is exactly what you're going to get. Proxy bidding is you put in your lowest that you'll take. So say 16%. Like I don't want to take anything less than 16%. Well, I'm going to get everything 16% or higher. Anything I bid on that goes lower than that goes to somebody else. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense. If you guys have any questions about that, I'd be happy to answer them at the end of this as well. So what I'm showing you right now is actually my own personal, I call it the Lien Sniper cheat sheet. Again, I love data, right? So I've compiled all of the county's data from last year's auctions. So I know exactly what interest rates I'm going to bid. And you can make an educated guess of this, of what will happen next season, looking at all of this data, right? One thing I do get asked a lot is how do you filter for maximum returns, right? So your maximum value, what do you filter for exactly? And one thing you really want to make sure you don't do is buy junk liens. And we have a lot of ways of doing that in a lot of different systems, but I've kind of evaluated and figured out what works for me and what I like to do. So I don't want to take anything that's worth a value of less than like $5,000 because it may drop after that or something may happen and I won't get my money back. Okay, it takes a lot to do a tax deed application. So I want to make sure that I filter for that correctly. Okay, this is just a quick snapshot of the filters that I use. You don't have to go off of it, but just to give you guys kind of a heads up of what I'm looking for so that you can start that too. So a lot of the ratio values and things that we talked about kind of work into that lien and into that data. All right, moving on. All right, so hopefully I've got everybody still here. Is everybody still pumped? Everybody still excited? Because now we're getting to the data. Woohoo! Okay, just kidding. I'm not going to bore you with a lot of data. Lien Hub, has what's called bulk bidding. This allows you to bid on all of the liens at once. So this is super exciting. I don't even know if the other platforms do this. When I discovered this, I was like, oh my God, how can nobody else be teaching this? How have I not learned about this? Like I've learned literally everything myself with tax liens. And that's how I know the mistakes to make and the mistakes to not make and the things to do, right? So I'm speaking from experience when I say literally you can bid on tens of thousands of liens in a matter of clicks. And that's not a joke, that's not a lie, it's not far-fetched. I can show you exactly how this happens. We don't have time for it now. I may do a video of it. But once these liens start, you'll see, and you may get overwhelmed, that some of these counties are, hundreds of thousands, if not maybe 1 million tax liens coming up. Well, you don't want to look at every single one of those, right? You're not going to run due diligence just to run every single one of those and then get outbid and then you don't get any liens. This bulk bidding allows you to do those filters I just showed you and go ahead and bid and put your interest rate and what you're willing to go to, and then upload the entire thing at once. It's amazing, guys. It's truly amazing. And I'm nerding out, so I'm gonna move on because I don't want to bore you with all this data. But if you finish this challenge, you're already ahead of 99% of people, right? So most beginners fail because they wait too long. And let me just talk to the action takers in the room. If you've made it this far, if you've gone through the 5-day challenge, which a lot of you have said that you've already gotten through, you're not just curious about tax liens, right? You're serious. So you want to win your first lien and you want to do it with confidence, not confusion. So that's exactly what I did with my Lien Mastery Live program. And it's designed to help you do that exactly. So what is this program? This is my 30-day live coaching experience where I'm going to walk you step by step through the Florida tax lien auction season. Okay, literally, like hand by hand. Maybe not literally because we're digitally, but I will give you a high five and thumbs up. But I will be here every step of the way. All right. So what you're going to get with this is 4 weekly coaching calls throughout the season, 1 each week, where I'm going to guide you through exactly what you need to do right now to get ahead of the other bidders, like as the auctions are happening. We're going to get auction strategies that actually work. What I talked about before with the filtering, we're going to go beyond theory. Okay, I'm going to show you exactly how to do everything I just talked about. I'm going to show you on my screen. I'm going to show you exactly what I'm bidding on and how you can do it too. All right, my filters, my playbook, everything. We're also going to do like live walkthroughs of real auctions. So this is literally, we're going to have 1 week and we're going to look at this auction that's coming up. It's going to happen. And then the next week, we're going to evaluate, right? Who got liens? Who did this? What did you do right? What did you do wrong? And then we've got another auction coming up every week after that. Okay, so we literally have all these chances for you to make mad money. Okay, you'll see me bid live. You'll learn how to avoid all those red flags and which liens are worth owning, right? The best part of this whole thing is that you really don't need $10,000. I know I mentioned $10,000 before, but you don't need to be a full-time investor. $10,000. I've actually had people that have done this that have just bid on $50 liens. Okay, they just want to know how it works, want to get it under the belt, and then they've been bidding ever since, year after year after year. This is basically the shortcut to winning your first tax lien in the next few weeks, not months or years. Okay, So I'm hope that excites you guys. It was really exciting for me to create this program in the beginning and see how my graduates were doing and kind of touch base with them every year. So you're not just getting those 4 weeks, right? You guys are getting bonuses. Of course, I'm going to have bonuses for you guys. I give you guys so much in this. I actually had a lot of coaches that I've been talking to that says that there's too much in this, but I just want to slam you with everything that I have, okay? I want you guys to be successful. I want you to go off and get the same returns that I'm getting, okay? So these bonuses are worth over $7,000. When you join the Lien Mastery Live program, you're going to unlock not just one, but like 2 of my courses. I have my Tax Liens 101 course, which is basically the challenge on steroids. And then I have my Lien Mastery course. It's a 4 step-by-step video program specifically for Lien Hub to get you guys to bulk bid. Okay, just like I showed you before, if you want to bid on 100,000 properties at once, that's the video walkthrough to do. Okay, the Lien Sniper cheat sheet that I showed you earlier, that's going to be in there. I've also got my passive portfolio tracker, the Lien Launchpad calendar, Power Filter playbook, bidder's balance sheet, and private coaching, blah, blah, blah. Okay, all these bonuses, you get it, okay? So over $7,000 of tools, training, and most of all the support, okay? You're going to get me one-on-one practically anytime. I know we have 1 week, we're going to do 1 week sessions, but I'm going to be here for you if you just, send me a chat, send me a PM, ask me about this. I'll be here for you, okay? That's what we're doing. So you're basically getting all of that for just a fraction of what I normally charge. So have you guys liked the tools and spreadsheets that I've shown you on this call? Drop in the chat which one was your favorite. I hear a lot of people that like the Lien Sniper cheat sheet, which is my favorite. So everything that you've seen so far, all the templates, all of my data, everything is included, guys. I don't leave anything out, okay? And if you see something that I don't have in there, I'm happy to email it to you as well, all right? So who is this for, right? If you want a plan that works, if you want to stop guessing what to bid on, a coach in your corner during live auctions, to finally feel confident about what you're doing, this is for you, okay? This is the program that you're looking for. So don't wait. Like I said, auction season is right around the corner, okay? It starts in 5 days. If you haven't already started registering, then you're kind of behind the times. So your deposits are going to get due, bidding begins. This opportunity is happening right now, and it won't wait for anyone. Okay, this is Florida, it's the government, they don't wait for anyone. So if you wait until next year, you're going to be in the same place and wondering why you didn't do it sooner. So here's what I want you to do, all right? Click the link, I'm going to drop it in the chat, it's also on the screen. This is the link to the program, okay? Go ahead and go there. I do have payment options, okay? If you don't want to pay in full, if you want to go ahead and separate it out, that's fine. But I just want you guys to join this, okay? I want you guys to join this program, see what you can do. The 5-day coaching challenge was just a minuscule part of the actual tax liens, okay? And if anyone joins by the end of this call, I'm actually going to throw in another bonus, okay? I have more bonuses if you can imagine that, all right? So, y'all, let's win your first lien together, all right? This program is really for people who are done dabbling, okay? Want a real strategy. They want to invest smarter, not harder, okay? If you want support during the actual auctions so you don't freeze or fumble or make a big mistake, you're going to get all the guidance and all the tools and the clear game plan so you can show up for that auction and be prepared and confident and ready to win. So you're not just buying information, you're getting this transformation, okay? This is your opportunity to take what you've learned and go 10 times deeper. Protect your investment, right, with costly mistakes. Let's be honest, this program is worth far less than any bad investment could cost you, all right? Hopefully you've learned a lot from the challenge and you can see exactly what you can do and then just bump it up in steroids, okay? Imagine bidding on a piece of like swampland that never redeems, which I've done before. That lien will expire in 7 years. Now you're left with nothing. So if you bid on 4 pieces of swampland for $500, you've just blown your money, okay? Don't make that costly mistake. You could be earning 18% a year on that for 7 years straight before you have to let it expire or apply for the tax deed, okay? That's thousands of dollars that are gone for you. And that's exactly what I want to help you avoid, okay? Make sense? Y'all with me? All right. You'll walk away from this 30-day experience basically knowing how to evaluate properties with confidence, how to avoid junk liens, bad investments, everything that we've talked about, okay? Your secure returns, your ROI, I can go on and on for this whole thing, all right? But guys, this is where things get real. This is where we stop talking about investing and actually do it together. And that's why the Lead Mastery Live is your next best step, okay? I'm going to answer all these questions for you. You're going to have more questions after this, all right? And this program, it's how you're going to stay accountable. I do my own coaching, and I also do other people's coaching. I have other coaches that help me because I want to make sure that I'm getting the best out of my day, the best out of my business, the best out of my profits, okay? I want to stay accountable, and that helps me as well. So this is where you're going to finally start building your portfolio. And remember, it's backed by real estate. You can't go wrong unless you're going to buy on a swamp property, okay? And we're going to avoid those swamp properties. So if you're ready to get serious, if you want to walk into this auction season knowing like exactly what you're doing, go ahead and click the link. We'll get started now, okay? I want to help you with that first link. All right, so guys, before we wrap up and get into questions, I do want to take just a moment. I appreciate you guys hanging with me here. We got about 20 minutes left, so I'm going to take some questions right after this. I just wanted to share something from my heart because I know there's a lot of like sales pitchy stuff, and I'm not that guy. I don't like doing that. I like real experiences, okay? And because this has helped me so much, that's why I want to help you, okay? When I first started this journey, I didn't have a background in real estate. I didn't come from money. I was busy, I was working, I was raising a family, I was juggling all these responsibilities, right? And trying to figure this all out in a few hours that I had each week was not fun, okay? I made mistakes. I wasted time trying to do everything on my own. I questioned if I was even good enough to do it, right? If I was smart enough. I had an MBA, but I don't know about tax liens. You know, I'm not a CPA. And, am I tech savvy enough really to do all of this, you know? To be honest, there were moments where I almost gave up. And this photo was taken this past weekend, and it's one of my favorite photos. I took my family on our annual Easter weekend camping trip. And something that not only I couldn't afford to do before, but I didn't have the means to even buy a camper. That changed when I found the tax liens. Within a few years of tax investing, I had saved enough money to not only buy a camper, but now we travel comfortably across the U.S. with my family whenever I want. And that's what I want for you guys. All right? So, sorry, let's get to your end. But, all right, bring it back around. What changed everything for me was really having that system. Okay, I created a system, and then I also built upon that with all of my coaches. I created a community. If you guys haven't joined the Facebook community yet, go ahead and get that. Okay, it's free to everybody. Go ahead and log into Facebook, look for Florida Tax Investors. I give away a plethora of information for there. I also have the YouTube channel. I created this community around everything, and I really just want to share it with you guys, okay? So that's what this Lead Mastery Live really is for, is to have a smaller community, okay, to have that inner circle community. So if you've ever thought, like, I don't have time to research properties, I'm scared I'll buy a worthless lien, I'm not good at spreadsheets for tech, I don't want to do this alone, okay? You're not the only one, all right? I've already got a handful of people that have signed up. I'm only taking so many more. So if, this is just the next best thing, guys. I can't explain it any further than that, okay? If you've ever felt one of these things, most of the students have two. Everybody that signed up has pretty much said one of these things, okay? And that's why this coaching program is built the way that it is. We walk through the auctions together. I give you the exact tools so you don't waste your time. I show you how to spot the red flags so you don't waste your money. And we keep it really simple, all right? Really clear, really doable. Anyone can do this, okay? I even taught my kids how to do tax liens, and they were 9 at the time, okay? So my kids invest in tax liens. If this is your first time, this is perfect. This is exactly what I wish I had when I started, all right? So now it's here for you. You can do what you want with it. If you're still with me, that means something. So it means this at home for you. It means you're ready, okay? So let's take that next step together. Go ahead and click the link. Go ahead and join the Mastery Live. I'll have a special bonus again if you sign up before the end of this. Looks like, oh, Dan just joined. Awesome, Dan. Buddy, you are in for a wild ride. I know we've talked about it. I'm so glad you hooked on there. And it looks like Mary just signed up as well. Awesome. I do have a few more spots, guys, so go ahead and check that out. I can't wait to have you guys in the program. I can't wait to see where you guys go. So with that said, let's go ahead and get into our questions. We've got 15 minutes left. If it goes over 15, I'm happy to stay on. We can answer as many questions as you guys have. So I do see a few questions in the chat already. Let me go ahead and go through these. I'm going to go ahead and put it up on the screen where you can get that Lien Live program. And go ahead, take a minute, drop all your questions in the chat, and I'll gather those and see what we haven't answered yet. All right? All right, so Gina, you got a couple questions. I think I answered most of these. Somebody says, you don't have a lot of money to invest. Yeah, like I said, you only need $50, okay? There's no application fees. There's no like origination fees or anything like that with tax liens. It's literally just what you are buying the tax lien for. So if somebody hasn't paid their property taxes for $75 on a vacant land, you can buy that property for $75, that lien, not the property, sorry. The lien for $75, okay? That's it. That's all you need. And then you just sit back and you get the check when they pay it off. It's super easy, okay? Let's see what else we have here. Did that answer your question? I hope so. I'd love to know really what you guys are looking to gain out of this as far as the money. Like, how many of you are willing to take 0.25%, which is really 5% ROI, right? Let's be honest. And how many of you really want the 18% or somewhere in between, okay? Go ahead and drop it in the chat. I'd love to know what you got. Okay, Dan, yep, Dan has bid 12% before. Yeah, that's great. 12% and 7% are very good interest numbers as far as the data goes to get some of those liens. Let's see what we have here. I'm scared to buy a worthless lien. Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly, Stephen. You'll learn exactly how to spot those junk liens versus any of the winners that I'm using with the simple filters and data. So that's what that next program is for. And I will guarantee you, like I'll say this out loud, I will put it in writing, I will guarantee with my program, you will not buy a worthless lien. If you do, if somehow by a miracle you buy a worthless lien, I will buy it back from you, okay? That's how confident I am in my program, okay? So let's see, hopefully that answers your question. Let me know if it didn't. Let's see. Somebody says, I don't want to deal with tenants or repairs. Yes, exactly. No toilets anymore, okay? No toilets. If you're coming from the flipping background, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right, y'all? Somebody says, I don't want to lose money. How do I not lose my money? That's, again, guaranteed. Okay, Florida is guaranteed. And I believe, let's see, who's that from? Phil. Phil, if you haven't gone through the challenge yet, I do explain this in a little bit more detail. I think you probably are on module 1 or 2, right? Go ahead and go through the challenge because I do explain the difference between the 5% and the 18%. But you are guaranteed to get at least 5% return on your investment, okay? You'll never get less than that. So let me just tell you that. And you're not going to lose your money because it's all done through the government, the county, right? Things like that. So, all right, let's see. Okay, Patrick asks, how does percent work for 2 years if I don't win next year's lien? Yeah, so Patrick, the next year's lien doesn't even really matter. It's kind of open season every single year. Okay, so like the liens that I bought last year, if they haven't redeemed yet, I can bid on those same properties, but I may not get that lien. And that's okay, because the person that gets that next lien, if they wait 2 years, they may apply for the tax deed, and then they're going to pay me. Okay, so I don't want to get too complicated into the whole structure of that, but basically, if you have a lien that's at least 2 years old, so say you buy it today, 2 years from now, nobody's paid the property taxes. That's when you go on to the tax deed application. Okay, that's when it turns into a tax deed application. You have up to 7 years to do that. So between 2 and 7 years, you can apply for that tax deed application. You don't have to do it right at 2 years. Okay, but what happens is, at 2 years, if you want to go ahead and apply for it, you have to pay all the other liens off. Okay, so that's something to remember to think about. If you want to bid on any of those properties that have other redeems in the background, you're going to have to pay those off. So your strategy could be look at the data, and the counties will tell you that there are one lien that hasn't been redeemed yet, or 0 liens that haven't been redeemed, or some of them have 6 liens that haven't been redeemed, and you want to not bid on those, right? So hopefully that makes sense. Let me know. Let's see your other question. Will interest keep growing for year 2, or is it capped? Oh yeah, absolutely. It's going to grow, Patrick. Your money's just going to keep growing. That's what is insane about this. So I have liens that are probably 5 or 6 years old that I haven't applied for the tax deed yet because I've kind of just been pushing it off. Hasn't been my priority. They're still making 18%, right? And I'm still going to get at least a 5% guaranteed, but at this point, the 18% is more. So yeah, it's just sitting there. It's like a CD, if you can think of it that way, okay? It's like a certificate of deposit. If you guys don't know what that is, the bank wants to use your money. So they say, give us $10,000 and we'll give you 1.5% back every year. Well, the tax lien is the same thing where the county's like, give us $1,000, we're going to give you 18% every year, okay? And it's just going to sit there, and you won't have to do a thing unless it doesn't expire until the 7 years. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. So you have up to 7 years, and it's going to accumulate and grow constantly. Okay, so let me know, Patrick, if I answered that. I know that was a little bit of a complicated, advanced question for the challenge, and I'm glad you asked it because that's probably a great question that a lot of people might have. So let me know if I answered the question. If not, if you have any other questions, pop in here. I've got a couple more here before we leave. Somebody says, I'm not good with spreadsheets or tech. Yeah, no worries, right? You can do this all on your own. You don't really need spreadsheets necessarily if you want to do these liens one by one, which is very painstaking, guys. That's not what this is about. The spreadsheets that I show you are all of the data, and all the data and spreadsheets that I showed you in this presentation are part of that Lien Mastery Live. I'm going to give you all of that, and we are literally going to walk through it step by step. Okay, like day one, we're going to say, okay, we're going to do the bulk bidding on this one. I'm going to pull data from one of the counties, and on my screen, I will show you exactly how to do it. Okay, and you're going to do it with me step by step, right along. Okay, I'm going to say, click this, do this here, copy this, paste this, and we're going to do it together. Okay, everybody's going to be able to do the same thing at the exact same time. Okay, does that make sense? So you don't need to know a whole lot about spreadsheets. Again, I give it to you. I give you all the templates and all that fun stuff. Okay. So I have had retirees do very well. I'll just put it that way. I don't want to make any comments about older people because some of them are smarter than me. But I'll just put it that way. I've had people that really don't know spreadsheets a lot, and they've been able to walk through this like a breeze. Okay. Let's see. We have more questions. All right. Gina asked, how long does it take to see results? So this is where I go back to Patrick's question with the CDs. So you kind of have to put your money out there and you have to wait. Okay, so your lien could get redeemed the next day after you bought it, and you get 5% return in one day. Awesome. It's happened before. I think my record was 7 days. Somebody paid their property taxes in 7 days, and I got 5% ROI in a week. It's awesome, right? Sometimes you have to wait years, and that's hard for some people who want immediate results. So there's actually a company that I have interest in. I'll just put that out there as an advisory, taxlienliquidators.com. I've set that up because I have helped other people who want to get their cash right away. Okay, so with that program, you really don't even have to worry about it. If something comes up, we have a lot of stuff that comes up, right? You need cash right away. You can go to that company and you can ask them to buy your lien back, right? And they'll give you full face value and you won't lose a penny, right? So they even do the transfer documents to you, okay? We'll even pay for the transfer fees. It's insane. So you don't have to worry about ever losing your money, okay? Especially if you do this program and you do it the way that I teach you to, you're going to be rolling in it, okay? And you're just going to compound that interest over and over, okay? I hope that makes sense. That makes sense? All right, drop it in the chat if that didn't make sense or you have other questions about that. So let's see. Patrick's got another question. Will the monthly money keep growing? Will 60% grow to 120% and so on for years holding? So let me preface this. Let me explain. The 60% APY is because you got 5% ROI. That's only if it redeems in the first 30 days. If your lien redeems in the first 30 days, no matter what your interest is, you get your 5% ROI. Okay, you don't get 60%. It's just that it's calculated out 5% per month. So 5% times 12 is 60%. Okay, but you don't actually get the 60%. I just want to make that very clear. You do get your 5%, and what you can do is roll that 5% into something else and get another 5% or more interest, or do something else with it. So that's why I like to hound on the 5% ROI, because a lot of times we'll get immediate results, and you won't get that with traditional real estate investing. So let me just give you an example, Patrick. Say we buy a lien for 10%. Okay, let's just make it easy. 12%. Okay, 12% interest rate. I'm getting 1% per month. Okay, so 12% per year, 1% per month. Okay, so in 6 months, I'm going to get 6%. Okay, in 8 months, I'm going to get 8%. If it goes past 12 months, if it goes into 3 years, that's 36 months, I'm going to get 36% return on that investment. Okay, and it's going to compile that same way. Okay, I hope that makes sense if I explain that correctly. Let me know if I did. Let me know if there's a little confusion there, because the numbers, without having a calculator or spreadsheet in front of the screen, it's a little bit hard for me to explain, but I do go into that in detail in my courses that are part of the Tax Lien Live Mastery Program. So let's see what else we have here. All right, we've got a couple more coming in. I think I answered that for you, Stephen. Let me know if I didn't. Somebody says they were worried about doing it alone. Yeah, guys, I mean, that's what the program's for. You know, you can go through this 5-day challenge and you could take off and do it on your own. You're more than welcome to. I hope I gave you enough information that you feel confident in it, okay? But I want to make sure that you're not going to make mistakes. And that's why I do the Lien Mastery Live program. So that's why I'm confident that if you do this program, you're definitely not going to regret it, okay? And you can do it every year after that. With the 5-day challenge, that's just a smidge of what we're talking about. Okay, you do get private access and a private community with the Lien Mastery Live program. With the 5-day challenge, you don't really. Okay, I have 3 more. Excuse me, this is the 3rd one. I have 2 more weeks where I'm doing these Q&As, and then after that, we're done. Okay, I hate to say it. I wish I could answer everybody's questions, but that's when tax lien season starts, right? May 15th. The lien program, the coaching program starts the week before that. So we are going to be so amped up the week before all these auctions go live. You are not going to have to worry about a thing. We're going to do it all together. Okay. So, Isabel, I hope that answered your question for you. Let me know if you have any other concerns. I'd be happy to answer those as well. Okay. So I think we have everybody answered. Please let me know. Let's see. Oh, Patrick, you had a follow-up. Yes, that explains it. Awesome. Happy to help, Patrick. And again, private message me. Feel free to reach out if you have any other questions, or if you guys go into your member portal, there's also a chat feature there. You're welcome to do chat. I'll get an answer. I'll get a response from that. You can also private message me on Facebook, and feel free also, if you just want to email and it's easier, support@floridataxinvestors.com or info@floridataxinvestors.com. All of those will come to me, and I will personally respond to each and every one of them. Just give me at least 24 business hours. I do try to take the weekends and the evenings for my family. That is one thing that I can do because of tax liens and deeds, right? So that's one of the bonuses. I just want to make sure I answered everybody's question. If you have any last minute questions, I'll stay on for another 30 seconds here. I think we answered everybody's. Yep, Ben, awesome. Ben just joined the program. Awesome, Ben. Happy to have you. Super excited, guys. And again, if you will join before the end of this, I've got about 2 more minutes. I will throw you an extra bonus that you don't want to miss. Okay, so go ahead and jump in there. I'm going to go ahead and let this sit for another minute here. Wait for it to answer questions. Okay, somebody's worried about research. I saw the comments above, and they're worried about researching properties. Again, I just go back. That's part of the spreadsheets and everything that I put in there. Okay, so I hate to keep repeating that, but I covered all of the bases in this other coaching program. I will not leave you guys stranded. Okay, I promise. Everything that you need is in that program. All right, so you won't have to worry about researching properties, looking at them one by one. I have a system for filtering these things, and you can do it within a matter of minutes. Okay, we'll go through an auction, and once we get up and going, you guys will realize you can look at a county, pull their list, figure out what you want to do and bid on, and how much you want to bid on it, and upload it into that bulk bidding session. And immediately you're done. Okay, and then you can walk away, and then you just wait. You just wait for your liens to come in. Okay, so I think that answered everybody's questions. Guys, I'm going to wrap up here. I really appreciate you joining. Again, go ahead and sign up for the webinar for next week and the week after if you want. I'm opening that up to everybody. And, message me if you have any other questions. All right? Thanks for joining. Have a good one, y'all.